काम ऐसा करो कि एक पहचान बन जाए, हर कदम ऐसा चलो कि निशान बन जाए। यहाँ ज़िंदगी तो हर कोई जीता है, पर ज़िंदगी इस कदर जियो कि मिसाल बन जाए। Hello everyone, I Shreyansh Bagaria. I'm your host for today and welcome you all to this another exciting and intriguing episode of HYP, aka How You Got Pleased Season 6. Today we have this wonderful opportunity to talk to Kailash Kejriwal sir and Gaurav Sukhramani sir, who are no less than the prodigies in their respective fields. So with me, representing the voice of all the software developers, let's give a kickstart to this conversation. So the discussion will be followed by we will know our guests first well and their journeys very well, and we will end up with a question whose answer you are desperate to know. So let's start it. First of all, I request both of you to introduce yourself briefly to our viewers.
Hello everyone, I am Kailash. I am currently an SD intern at Swiggy. I hope you guys order from it. And apart from that, last summer I have been a summer intern in Morgan Stanley, where I have received a PPO from. Apart from that, I also like to contribute to open source technologies, and I have been a mentor in the Google Summer of Code in my second year. In my free time, I like to blogs on the latest emerging technologies, which I frequently publish on my Medium handle. Yep. Apart from that, if you guys like to chit chat with me about anything, I'm always open to that.
Hello everyone, I'm Gaurav and I'm currently in my final year. I'm doing an internship at Cisco and I also have a PPO from Cisco as well. I have multiple other offers, exploring tech and exploring events, organizing events in college is one of my hobbies. Yeah, see you around.
Okay, thank you sir. Kailash sir, my first question is to you. It's fascinating to know that you got the 6-month long internship in the Swiggy. We want to know how was the preparation phase and how you got to that intern.
So the Swiggy opportunity was a 6 months opportunity. The opening came around September last year in my 7th semester. So Swiggy was expanding a lot and they were hiring interns. I got to know that there is some opportunity in the front end team. I applied for it through some referral from a Swiggy employee, and a few weeks later I got the link for the online assessment. Now the online assessment is generally for the DSA based, basically a problem solving based. But in my case, it was a problem solving as well as development based assessment. So I had to complete some questions on problem solving, and after that I had to also develop a component within the time frame and pass all the test cases over there. So that platform was HackerRank itself. So it was around 2.5 hours of assessment, and I completed it within about 1 hour only. And I guess I completed all of the test cases that were there for each and every question. And about 1 week later, I got a call for an interview. In that interview, it was a machine coding round. So in a machine coding round, what happens is that you have to do peer programming with the interviewer. Peer programming, as in if it's a front end, you have to develop a website or a particular component in React or Next.js. Or if it's a backend based assessment, you may have to create a server or write some logic along with that interviewer. So for me, since it was a front end based role, I had to create a React component, and there were some bonus questions as well, like some particular modification or particular edge cases of functionalities within that component which I had to implement. I passed all of them. The interviewer was also impressed. And after 1 week of that, I got another call for my second round of interview. That was of the problem solving round. There was about 2-3 questions on stack and dynamic programming. I passed all of them. And again, 1 week later, there was my final round of interview, which was my hiring manager round. So in that round, they questioned on everything, like starting from problem solving to system design, to core subjects, to my resume, to my past experience, to my behavioral skills, like a lot, like basically an entire question series was there. It continued for about 2 hours. And after 1 week again, I got the final call that yes, I've been selected for my internship and it would be starting in October. That's how it went. And regarding the preparation strategy, I would just say that have your basics clear regarding everything, because especially in this type of companies and startups recently, they do a lot of peer programming interviews. And in peer programming, they might ask you at a very deep conceptual level. So make sure you have your basics clear. It's not just you are able to implement things, you are able to implement it with a reason, that if you're implementing something, you know the why behind it. So it's one of the most crucial things you should keep in mind.
Thank you, sir. Sir, my next question to you, Gaurav, sir. Sir, we are glad to hear that you received an offer from full-time offer from HPCL and along with the Cisco and the internship at the Mercari, Japan. So all of them are very reputed and they're well-established companies. So please take us through this interview process and the complete interview scene.
So let's start with Mercari, which was an off-campus opportunity, which I had filled with a referral from one of our college seniors itself. Mercari is a company which the interview process is only the dev process. It's not at all related to DSA. So there were two rounds, I guess. So there was a DSA coding round, which was very simple, just based on the linear data structures and trees. That's all. No dynamic programming, nothing complex. Going ahead, I cleared it very easily. It was like 15 minutes, I guess, because it was really easy. Coming further, then there were two interviews. So I got an interview link, I think around 20-25 days post the DSA round. And the first round went pretty smooth. It was more or less, it was supposed to be an engineering member. And it was majority based on my resume, my past experiences at the different internships I've had, and very little about the projects that I have on my resume. Coming to the second round, which was 1 week post that, it was with the project manager. Okay, so they were more interested to know how well I had studied Mercari. So going through the Mercari docs, the site and everything, about their culture, because Japanese people believe that we should respect their culture and how they actually make things work in their company. So yeah, that was a good experience, being very honest. Different was a completely different interview among all that I've given. So yeah, it was good, and I think within the next 2 weeks I had my results out for Japan's. It was a backend intern. So yeah. And coming to HPCL was a completely off-track interview. So it's a PSU basically. And in HPCL there was no tech round, nothing. It was just a group discussion. Okay. So we had a group discussion round, and after that we had personal interviews, and that was a different experience again, because we had the general manager of HPCL here with us and a lot of other high authorities. So having a conversation with them, it was not a tech-based conversation. It was more of what we want to do in our lives and how we are, pursuing on it. So yeah, that was different. And coming to Cisco was normal as the tech interviews go. So we had so it started with code with Cisco, and we couldn't clear the code with Cisco. It was a team event. So I was with two of my friends, Pratul and Ved. So we couldn't clear, but then those who had cracked one question, they got separate form links from Cisco, and we were given another opportunity. So this was around September or October. We gave the OA. It was a very, very lengthy OA, around 60 MCQs as far as I remember. And there was 1 hour and also 2 coding questions. So yeah, we somehow managed to do it. We finished it within the time. I don't remember exactly how much, but yeah. And then we had completely forgotten about it because we got the interview links very late. I think around October, November. So it was around 2 months of gap. So no one remembered about we didn't even think we cleared it because we failed the first time. But yeah, the interview process was pretty chill. It was in the 2 days, so it was not as stretched as Kailash's one. Weeks of waiting. So yeah, we had 3 interviews. First one was tech interview, DSA based, and a bit of OS. Second was completely on the core subjects, so which included operating systems, DBMS, OOPS, computer networks, obviously because it's Cisco, and yeah. And the third one was a managerial round, depending upon the values and stuff. So yeah, so for now, it's been a very good experience at Cisco. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Kailash sir, my next question is to you. You have been a software developer intern at Remaster Inc for more than 2 years, and also a front-end developer at DataDash. So with so much experience in the development domain, what do you think, which approach of yours worked right and brought you the deserved success in this field?
Okay. So in case of Remaster and DataDash, they were my internships during the initial years of my college. So basically when I was in my second year, I started with Remaster, and towards the mid of my second year, I started with DataDash. So both of them I got, in case of Remaster, I joined as a backend blockchain developer intern. It was kind of like I had to work on the blockchain aspects and the backend development aspects as well. And in case of a DataDash, it was a front-end domain. Like I was exploring different fields, so I joined over there. While joining Remaster, I did not have any interview process. So what I did was I started learning about web dev. I did an internship over there, and about 3-4 months later, I learned about blockchain. And after learning about blockchain, I developed a couple of projects in that. I added that to my LinkedIn profile. And suddenly one day I got a call from the HR of Remaster. Like Remaster was a project that was being started at that time. So in December 21, I received a call that they are starting a project like Remaster. They explained me the business idea and asked me if I wanted to be an intern over there. I really love that idea. Okay, that idea was not meant for Indian markets. It was specific to US markets due to the like socioeconomics that's run over here. But however, I like that idea and I thought that let's join this startup. And man, I loved working there. So basically, I just had a formal call with the HR and our CTO. So yeah, it went well. They just wanted to know like how much I have hold over it, and like what are my working hours and all, whether I'm comfortable with some particular tech stacks and all. And after a formal discussion, I was like good to go with the startup. And once I started working there, the work culture was very good. Worked on a lot of different tech stacks, on a lot of technologies. I learned about a lot of things during my college, like during this internship in my college. Yeah, it was sometimes difficult to continue it parallel to my classes, but yeah, I loved working over there. It was a great experience over there. And as I mentioned, there was no formal interview for this. But in case of Data Dash, I got that opportunity after I completed GSOC. My yeah, so after my the entire mentorship period in GSOC end, after post that I received a message on LinkedIn that they are looking for interns who are quite good with front end development. And since my open source profile was also quite based on front end development itself, they said that if you want to join the startup, I had a call with them. They told me about their project idea, how the start like what their income model is, what's their exact problem that they are trying to solve, and yeah, that was also good. So I thought, yeah, let's give it a try and see. So yeah, I joined that. I worked there for about 4 to 5 months, and yeah, I liked that place. The best thing that about Data Dash was that I learned about front end development in depth over there. Yeah, I had a formal interview over there. So basically, they asked me to develop some React component. It was a proper peer programming session. No problem solving session was there. It was a proper problem solving session. And over there, they asked me to develop some component. And yeah, the interviewer was quite impressed. And I was good to go. I joined as a part-time intern over there. And one astonishing thing or a surprising thing that I found in that internship was that every member in that organization was a GSOC mentee. So everyone, like I was going through the LinkedIn profiles, I was just checking them one day and I saw that every guy, even my manager, my buddy, my CTO, everyone has done GSOC in one organization or the other. So I thought that maybe there are some startups which hire based on specific GSOCs tag. So yeah.
So, Gaurav sir, you have been a full stack developer at Sogage Software for more than 1.5 years. So, what piece of advice would you like to give to this budding developer as they embark on this journey?
So yeah, first of all, I'll tell you how I got into Sogage. So it was one of my seniors, Devaditya sir, told me about this vacancy at this company, and yeah, I just applied it randomly. I emailed that guy, and he was a very chill person. So he just we got on a meet. We had a discussion about whatever the tech stack knowledge I had. So yeah, so I was on a bit of different tech stack. Like all around me were on Mern stack and stuff. So like my interns were not matching with them. I was more focused towards Python development, scripting, Django, and all. So yeah, so luckily my tech stack matched with the company. They gave me a very short assignment, and I was good to go. We had a good call, and my work there started. It was a pretty nice work-life balance. So they never forced me to, immediate deadlines or something like that. We had a very nice, and I also had few of my classmates there along with me. So it was a good experience overall. Coming to the things that I've learned there, a lot of things. So whenever we work on our projects, it's more of a single repository that we created, and we're working on the same repository. When I started interning, it was a different experience, different repositories, you're getting connected, getting hosted, how things are actually getting automated. We have learned about automation, but we have never applied it. So applying the automation, initially the company was based on the beauty product side, but eventually they shift their product to the gaming side and the gaming products, so gaming platforms like Twitch, Play Store, App Store. So it is basically it's one place for all the gaming websites, blogging and everything. So it was a very nice experience, and I'll be honest, that helped me. That helped my resume to grow, as well as it gave me an experience on the tech side as well, working at the different companies. Yeah.
Great. So, So Kailash, so you also had the wonderful opportunity of being the technology summer analyst at Morgan Stanley, and you successfully backed the PPO of Morgan Stanley too. So please take us through this interview process and your work experience at Morgan Stanley specifically.
Okay, yeah. So Morgan Stanley, yeah, that internship was quite a different one because this was my first on-site internship. Okay. All the internships that I have done till now, even the Swiggy one included, is a remote internship. So that I am doing from my college only. But in case of the Morgan Stanley summer internship, I had to go to Bangalore. I had to do it in office. So yeah, man, that was a completely different experience. Because while staying in the college, if you are working remotely, yeah, it has its own pros. Remote work from home or remote work, it has its own pros. But once, as a budding developer or as a fresher, it is quite important for you to go to the office environment, meet with new people, make different connections, understand the working environment, and have interact with the people face to face. So that like gives you a huge learning opportunity. If you are learning, say, a level 2 while working from home, you might be learning level 5 or level 6 while working from office. So that gives you a very big head start in your career if you are having internships in office.
Yes. How long it was?
So my internship in Morgan Stanley was for 2 months, and like I would say that those 2 months are much better than the 4 to 5 months of internship that I've done at other places. So in case of Morgan Stanley, the entire process took about 2 months. It was a fairly long process. Around Feb of my third year, February of my third year, I received the online assessment link for Morgan Stanley. Yeah, of course, like you know, when you are applying for internships, you have to apply on a lot of applications. You just apply and forget. You don't remember that when did you apply. So suddenly one day I saw that there was an email regarding a pre-placement talk, and my online assessment was scheduled. After the online assessment, like in the online assessment, there were questions on core subjects, on aptitude, on problem solving, of course, on error and debugging, on output based questions, on there were some questions on comprehension as well. So all of these different sections were there. About 2 hours was the limit. Around 7 to 8 people from my batch had received the online assessment link. After that, two people of my batch, including me, received the interview call. So the first one was a problem solving interview. So I went through the different interview experiences on Geeks for Geeks like everyone does. I read through how other people had interviewed over there, what were the different questions asked. So I got a fair understanding that, okay, this was supposed to be my interview process. But once I joined the call and the interview started, it was a completely different process. So yeah, of course, initially, according to the articles, it was supposed to be starting with OOPS questions, and for me, it also started with OOPS question. But then it was supposed to go to DSA and then core, but for me, it stayed only on DSA.
Okay.
Generally, they ask 2 to 3 questions on data structures and algorithms, and post that they shift to core subjects like operating systems and DBMS. For me, they asked 5 data structures and algorithm questions. I was able to answer about 4.5 of them, like 4.5 in the sense like 4 up to the optimized form, half to the brute force. I could not reach the optimized form till then. And yeah, the interview seemed quite impressed with whatever I had performed. He was like, yeah, you are good with that. And after 1 week, I received a call for my next round, which was my final round. That was basically my hiring manager round or engineering manager round. Basically, over there, I was supposed to be interviewed on my system design concepts.
So you are alone from your friend circle.
Yeah.
Final one to reach the third round.
Yeah. So from my friend circle, I was the only one to reach the third round. So after that, once I reached my third round, over there I was asked on questions on system design. I was asked to design, I remember, some kind of a video streaming service. Of course, I can't disclose the entire question over here. So it was some kind of a video streaming service. And apart from that, I was also asked about some development principles and my behavioral skills, whether I was a good fit for the firm or not. And yeah, I performed well over there. The interviewer kind of grilled me with some tricky questions. I was kind of nervous, like what should the result be? But yeah, I had my fingers crossed, and 2 weeks later, I got a mail that yeah, I was selected for the process, for the internship, and I was quite happy with that. Now, coming to the work experience over there, it was a great experience. Like, since, as I mentioned, it was my first on-site experience, an in-office one. So I went there. I was quite nervous, like the other interns. I met a lot of people from a lot of colleges, like a lot of talented people from different better colleges. I interacted with them. I even met my fellow senior developers who are in my team from other teams, some senior leaders who were there to introduce us on the orientation days. And yeah, we interacted with them, and it was a great experience overall. One thing that I would mention is that if you ever get a chance to work on site versus remote, in your initial years, try to go for an on site one. Because man, this is the time you are the most energetic one. You have a lot of things to explore. If you are working remotely, yes, of course, it has its own pros. You will be saving a lot. You will save, like, you will have an ample amount of time. But if you are working from office, you will be meeting a lot of new people, and that thing is very important to give a boost to your career in the initial years. So yeah, that's one thing I should suggest to everyone, and that's the thing I learned from my internship in Morgan Stanley.
Thank you, sir. Gaurav sir, your team performed extremely well at Amazon Hackathon 3.0. So can you tell us more about the journey that led to this astonishing achievement, right from the team formation to its execution?
So yeah, Amazon Hackathon was, I guess, the second hackathon which I had given. I am not much of a hackathon person. One was along with Kailash and few other group members. That was internal college hackathon. And yeah, the second one is Amazon Hackathon. So we randomly formed a team. The two of my friends, Shrey and Pratul. And yeah, the first round was a coding DSA round. So they had a pattern which we had noticed. So there were 3 questions per person, right? And there were 3 people. So there were basically 9 questions. And out of 9, there was one question which was extremely difficult and unsolvable. So luckily, I was one of the guys who did not get that question. It was Prathal from our group, but yeah. So my was very easy. They had literally given very easy questions. So I was one of the top 5 fastest coders there. And it was a nice experience. Coming to the second round, they gave us a few sessions and stuff. And like there was a small session which they conducted online, and they gave us some few courses. Like I wouldn't even say courses, just some resources. Okay. Then eventually they had given us some problem statements to work on as a part of the hackathon. So we had also cleared the second round where we had to give a presentation about the prototype that we were planning to make. And then we worked on a prototype. So it was more, as far as I remember, it was more related to the Fire Stick and improving the performances of the Fire Stick related of thing. So it was combining so it was related to a recommendation system as well as some audio to text part. So it was a good experience. We weren't able to do the whole thing as we had our college examinations going on, but as an experience, it was a good experience at Hackathon. And yeah, so that's all.
So you were the top 5
trailblazers of the coders, yeah.
Okay. Next question, is with Kailash sir. Sir, as every viewer I think get to know now, he was a GSOC contributor at Python Software Engineer Foundation. So I would like to ask this question, like regarding open source from both of you. So what importance does open source contribution hold in one's development journey?
So go ahead, Kailash.
So open source, a quite trending term these days. Open source means passive in simple terms. So yeah, man, if you are thinking that DSA is not your forte, you can definitely try open source, I would say. Or even if you think DSA is like, if you are into the development field even a bit, I say you should try at least open source for a couple of months. Because man, open source not only teaches you the proper development principles, but the connection that it builds. Because as I mentioned, in the initial years of your college or your career, you should be focusing on building new connections, meeting new people, understanding the core of any technology. And open source is the key to that. If you're contributing to open source technologies, you'll not only learn about different software development principles, which you won't be learning while if you're developing your personal projects. So if you're working on open source, you'll be learning about how different code bases are maintained, how things run in a big organization. Like if you're contributing some big organizations, the Python Software Foundation itself, it has a lot of projects going on. A lot of developers are working on it globally. You will be connecting with a lot of fellow developers, and these people are not like random. They are not just students like us. They are people who are working at MNCs. They are people who are researchers at MNCs. The tech stacks that you are working on right now, you are using right now, they are the people who have built that tech stack. So they are always 10 steps ahead of you. So if you are working in open source, you get a lot of exposure. The best thing about open source is that after working a couple of few months, you may aim for different open source programs, like GSOC is there. If you are contributing towards the Cloud Native Foundations, we have CNCA for the LFX mentorship program. There is also Outreachy, and MLH also covers some part of open
Kind of
source.
open source,
Yeah. So these are the different open source programs that you can cover. Over there, you will be directly a mentee under an experienced person in the open source. That person may be like from some top multinational firm, or maybe he has a huge experience. So that thing will help you a lot. You will learn a lot during these mentorship programs. Another benefit that even comes after these mentorship programs is the opportunities that you get. So as I mentioned in my previous internship at Datadash, that opportunity I got immediately after my GSOC tenure ended, and everyone in that firm was a GSOC mentee. Some of them being GSOC mentors as well. So even as I learned over there, some of my peers like Ved, he himself, he was an LFX mentee, and post that he received an offer from Equinox for internship. And so that's where I learned about that if you are having a good hold in the open source domain, if you are interacting with a lot of people, there's a good chance you will be available, or like you will be presented with some good opportunities anytime. Even I've seen a lot of seniors in my college itself who have a good hold in open source, who have cracked these programs, and then they got opportunities to work in these companies. And believe me, you would love to work in these companies because you will be earning in dollars, spending in rupees. Man, that's it. Over to Gaurav.
So yeah, being a pro open source developer, I'll tell you how beginners can go to it. So the first thing which even I think Kailash was a part of was Hacktoberfest. We all did it for the goodies and t-shirt. Obviously we are developers and we love that. So yeah, we started our open source journey with that, and then so yeah, also your peer group motivates you, right? So we had in my peer group we had Anand, Ved, both of them working on open source opportunities, and even I had tried for GSOC in my second year. So that was the beginning of my tech journey. I didn't much work in my first year. So being the beginning of my tech journey, I couldn't communicate. I thought it was really difficult communicating. But open source teaches you a lot of things. Okay, I started to learn to talk on Slack, communicate with people. It's fine to ask dumb questions there. It's a very new experience. You can go and learn there. And so even if there are people who have cracked a lot of things in open source, they can definitely guide you even on the smaller stepping stones. You can start with solving very smaller issues, good first issues, and going to higher issues. It teaches you debugging, communicating, networking. There are a lot of advantages. But then there's one thing, you need to have patience. Okay. I kind of gave up a bit early, I guess. That's the reason. I don't know, I'm not sure. But yeah, you need to have a lot of patience and you need to give time to open source contribution, and then eventually you will get your rewards. Maybe it will in the form of an offer, maybe it will be form as a learning experience, but definitely it helps you. So, yeah.
So, sir, in short, we can say open source is an opening to the world, which we should explore at least.
Definitely.
At least for 2-3 months, if you are not that much interested, but at least give a try to it.
Yeah, even a lot of time it happens that people start directly their open source contribution from large organizations, like say Node.js, if the viewers might have heard of it. Node.js, Postgres, like these are some famous organizations, but man, their code base is huge. Even like it's not easy for a developer to just go and see and understand the code base in one go. Of course, you can't do that. So if you want to try the actual open source, I would say don't start with a big repo directly. Start with a smaller repo. You will find a lot of open source technologies or open source tools. Like if you want to say Facebook is a social media platform, Instagram is a social media platform. There are already open source versions of it. If you want to know how open source works, I should say you should at least try with those. There are during Hacktoberfest we often see that there are different repositories coming up which just ask for simple contributions like updating the README file or maybe changing a typo. Of course, that is not open source. But yeah, if you are trying to add a new feature, if you are a beginner and there's an issue to add a new feature or maybe fixing an important bug, I think you should at least give it a try with that, and after that you will be understanding, okay, this is how open source works. That is how the flow from getting an issue assigned to raising a pull request to getting it reviewed to the changes. So it's not an easy thing. Of course, as Gaurav mentioned, it requires patience. An entire process can take weeks, months. It's not so easy as we think. So I should say that yeah, you should explore it sometime, and instead of starting directly with the large repositories, start with some smaller ones. Once you have your hands on, once you understand the different tech stacks, then you should go with the important projects that are there. So yeah, that's.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Gaurav, so you also got selected in Amazon ML Summer School. So can you please share the experience of that?
Amazon ML Summer School, yeah, that was a different, it was more of an mentorship program. So we had given the online assessment for it and we cleared it, and it was just then we had a few sessions on few ML topics as well as on deep learning topics. So we have three people who from our college who got selected for this year, me, Shrey and Anand. And yeah, so it was a good learning experience. And ML school, once you clear that, so based on how much sessions you have attended and how well you have responded, they keep a track of that. As well as you have ML based resumes, they also offer you a role. So they give you again the OA links for the ML based roles in Amazon, and it is one of the good opportunities you can definitely look for. So it's not one of the difficult, it's not difficult to get into that mentorship because very few people aim for it. So yeah, definitely.
So, sir, how long it went?
It was an 8 weeks program on all the weekends, either 8 weeks or 4 weeks, I'm not sure. So we had 8 sessions on weekends, and yeah, so it was a weekend session, and then we also had forums for discussions. So that was good.
Okay, sir. So next, let's move towards some questions of the first year, like new question we can say, but these are important ones. So my first question in that sense is, sir, how important is it to have a good CGPA in college, and how does it affect our chance of being placed in good company? So, sir, Gaurav, please give a start.
भाई सीजी
So you have a good CG.
ऑनलाइन थे बना दी ठीक है, एक इसका बहुत अच्छा आंसर है कि ऑनलाइन थे, बकचोदी में बन गई नहीं पता, but हाँ, like I would say keep a mid level CG, not a very high one, like 9 का ये मत करो, हाई नहीं मिलती कॉलेज में, but you can definitely aim for 8 pointers, and it's good to have because few of the companies do have a very clear cutoff that above 8 only they'll allow you to give OA. तुम्हारा OA देने का चांस ही कट गया तो फिर इंटरव्यूज तो बहुत दूर की बात है. So CG का एक वो फैक्टर है, but again if you have a very high CG, so you have to do good thesis projects. So also be careful. You should have a exactly mid-valued CG. But yeah, other than that, focus on the CG, focus on your acad, just study 1 week before the exam. That's more than enough.
आई गेस गौरव ने बता ही दिया भाई. सीजी रखोगे, फैकल्टीज के नज़र में आओगे. सॉरी कोई फैकल्टी का ये देख रही है, बट फैकल्टीज के नज़र में आओगे, दे विल एक्सपेक्ट यू टू डू हार्ड, लाइक चूज हार्ड टॉपिक्स, रिसर्च अ लॉट ऑन थीसिस एंड ऑल. ठीक है, लाइक दैट्स एन इशू, बट हाँ, सीजी इज इम्पोर्टेंट मैन. स्पेशली लाइक पर्सनली दिस व्हेन वी केम टू द कॉलेज, सबने ऑल ऑफ आवर सीनियर्स सेड साथ रख लो, इट शुड वर्क. पीपल केप्ट 7 एंड दे गॉट फक्ड. Okay. So like a lot of companies raised the hiring bar this year. It's a fact. Due to the recession and all, companies have like reduced their hiring numbers, and they have increased the CGPA requirement. So पहले जो companies का 7 था, अच्छे खासे लेके जा रही थी, they are now kept at 8. And in our college, sorry to say, getting CGPA is not that easy. Okay. I don't know how is it working now in the junior years, but when we were in the juniors years, हाँ, लॉकडाउन के चलते some people used to get good CG, but it's not that easy actually. Yeah.
Just one thing. So if you're aiming for startups,
Yes, sir.
then CG doesn't matter. तुम 5 रख लो, 5.5 रख लो, 6 रख लो, किसी को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. स्टार्टअप कल्चर में skill matters. ठीक है. There are also companies जो CG consider नहीं करती है because CG is a criteria for on-campus placements, not for off-campus. तो बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जिनकी ऑफ कैंपस में बहुत इजीली हो गई है एंड सीजी ने अफेक्ट नहीं किया है. तो ऐसा नहीं कि सीजी होगी तभी तुम्हारी नौकरी लगेगी, लग जाएगी. और ऑन कैंपस के लिए वही है कि इजीली तुम एक कट ऑफ क्लियर कर ले रहे हो, बैरियर क्लियर कर रहे हो, तुम्हारा कंपटीशन क्लियर हो जा रहा है. एंड ऑल्सो एग्जाम को एज अ स्ट्रेस मत लेना, बकचोदी में निकाल लेना, एक रात पहले पढ़ के निकल जाता है.
वन थिंग दैट आई वुड लाइक टू ऐड हियर कि जैसा इसने बताया ऑफ कैंपस में सीजी क्राइटेरिया नहीं होता है, दैट्स ट्रू. लाइक मोस्ट ऑफ द कंपनीज डोंट, बट सम डू अगेन. मेरे साथ हुआ है. लाइक व्हेन आई अप्लाइड फॉर स्विगी, सो एक्चुअली मेरा सिलेक्शन सेकंड एप्लीकेशन में हुआ था. व्हेन आई अप्लाइड फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, व्हेन द अपॉर्चुनिटी केम इन सितंबर, तो तब मैंने अप्लाई किया था. ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम ऑल्सो आई टुक अ रेफरल. I applied for it. I did not get any interview link or any assessment link. Yeah, there was no response from them. जब मैंने सेकंड एप्लीकेशन जब आई स्विगी की वापस, तब मैंने रीअप्लाई किया. आई टुक द रेफरल फ्रॉम द सेम पर्सन एंड ही सेड दैट फर्स्ट टाइम तुम्हारा नहीं हुआ होगा बिकॉज द सीजीपीए क्राइटेरिया वाज 9. आई थॉट भाई ठीक है, मतलब बट इट वाज नॉट मेंशन्ड एनीवेयर इन द एप्लीकेशन. अपॉर्चुनिटी में कहीं मेंशन नहीं था, या इट वाज देयर इंटरनल रिक्वायरमेंट्स. सो कंपनीज मे हैव दिस टाइप ऑफ इंटरनल रिक्वायरमेंट्स, वी माइट नॉट नो ऑफ. So it's necessary for us to at least to maintain a good CG while you can. हाँ ठीक है, तुम्हारा कोई हायर स्टडी का मन नहीं है, you are aiming just for corporate, okay, but at least keep it above 8 just for being on the safe side. Yeah, that you must do. और हाँ, कोई बैकलॉग मत ले आना भाई, बैकलॉग ले आओगे अटके रह जाओगे, ठीक है. So try not to bring any backlogs. अटेंडेंस का भाई कॉलेज का है भाई, कुछ बोल नहीं सकते अपन, ठीक है. और जहाँ तक नहीं, हाँ सीजी की बात, कीप इट अबव 8, यू विल बी लाइक परफेक्टली सेफ.
अभी मैं सेफ साइड हूँ. Okay sir, so other question that is like you had some leadership positions in the college. You both have leadership positions. So according to you, what important do you get from this having these leadership qualities? Is it helpful for you in your corporate life or in the journey you are getting started?
So I'd like to start with this one. That look, you came to college expecting a good package, right? To get a good package, you have to do some data structure algorithms, थोड़ा development करना पड़ेगा, अपने skills को improve करना. But skills are not just limited to your development or problem solving skills. There is something called soft skills. Teamwork, time management, leadership, communication. There are a lot of soft skills which are equally important. जैसे मैंने बताया, in my Morgan Stanley's last round, I had a behavioral interview. They were checking how fit or how good I am to be a member of their team. In Swiggy, in my final round, they asked me some behavioral questions. They wanted to check how good I am for the team. So this type of things depend on what you have done in the 4 years of your college. Like your personality, your interaction with the people. अगर आप लीडरशिप पोजीशंस लेते हो, से यू आर अ मेंबर ऑफ एनी क्लब और यू आर एनी एग्जीक्यूटिव इन एनी क्लब. पर्सनली आई एम एन एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफ Uthaan itself, and I had also been an open source lead of the Google Developer Student Club during my tenure. Apart from that, I had also been a member of 2-3 more what should I say, contractual times or so. Yeah, so during that time I had to interact with a lot of people. I had a lot of people under me. I interacted even with my seniors. So इससे क्या होता है ना कि you understand to take responsibilities. When you go to a corporate world, things don't work like कि तुम्हारा manager तुम्हें काम दे रहा है, you just do it. You have to take work on your own. When you do that, at that time you will get noticed. Yeah, of course, ज़्यादा काम मत ले लेना, but if you do that during the initial years, वो important है तुम्हारे लिए. So yeah, leadership is very, very important. This type of positions, the extracurricular activities that you do, especially in the clubs. If you join any club or if you're organizing any event, the responsibilities that you get will teach you a lot of things in college. And college is not just for learning, man. It's for learning, but not just your academic or career-based learning. It's for your personality development as well. आप घर से बाहर आए हो, आप मतलब you are interacting with people from all over the country. You have people from north, south, east, west. A lot of people are there. You learn about their culture. You learn about their lifestyle. You learn about how different people live. Like you interact with a lot of people and learn a lot of things. So make sure to use that thing to the maximum. Because आप एक बार बाहर जाओगे, you will use these learnings for your career. Yeah. So make sure to engage into as many things as you can in your initial years of your college. एक बार 3rd, 4th अपने senior years में आप आ गए, तब आपके placement internship में busy हो जाते हो. You generally opt out of these things, but initial years में I should say you should at least join 1 or 2 clubs, थोड़ा explore करो, interact with people, understand how things work, responsibilities लो. Yeah, of course you won't be succeeding every time. कभी-कभी आप responsibility लोगे, you will fuck up things, चीज़ें इधर-उधर हो जाएंगी. It happened with me as well, but yeah, there are your seniors who were in your shoes a year back. तो अब because they have 1 year more experience, they know how to deal with those things. वो रहेंगे always there to help. And this is the time to make those mistakes. आप एक बार कॉर्पोरेट में जाके आप ये नहीं कर सकते मैंने फ्रॉड गिरा दिया सर, ठीक है, आप ये नहीं कर सकते. डेटाबेस क्रैश कर दिया, वेयर नहीं लगा, बस्सी के जैसा कुछ हो रहा है. थिंग्स डोंट वर्क लाइक दैट इन कॉर्पोरेट ना. आप कॉलेज लाइफ में करो, ठीक है, आप अपने कॉलेज लाइफ में थोड़ा इधर उधर कर दिया, ओके, इट हैपेंस, सीनियर्स हैं, दे विल टेक केयर ऑफ इट. But it's important that you learn from your mistakes. You understand that okay, this might be a mistake. You won't be repeating it again in the future. Yeah. So leadership skills are very important in that case. Over to Gaurav.
Coming to extracurricular activities, we were part of a lot of extracurricular activities together as well. So we had organized a big event in college, Ganesh Chaturthi, and we faced a lot of backlashes during that. It was one of the best times of our college. We learned a lot of new things about a lot of people, but yeah, it was good. Like we knew what was responsibility, like owning things, handling all the fuck ups. As he mentioned, चीजें backfire होती हैं. फैकल्टीज के साथ डील करना, उन्हें बताना, इवेंट कराना है, फंड्स कलेक्ट करना, बहुत सारी चीजें थी, बहुत नई चीजें सीखी, पता चला, एंड दैट थिंग एक्चुअली हेल्प, लाइक दैट विल हेल्प यू. एंड एज ही मेंशन्ड कि कॉर्पोरेट में जाके ये सब नहीं मिलता, सम कंपनीज डू गिव यू दीज ऑप्शंस. ओके, सो लकीली इन सिस्को there are a lot of things that you can do. Coming to dancing, arranging events, we have a lot of events happening on every Friday. So yeah, so luckily I am one of there, and I also love doing events and stuff, so it's good. So that definitely helps you. And coming to the leadership skills and communicating, having conversations with seniors, growing your network definitely helps you. Like you can obviously know about them, their experiences. वही fuck ups तुम repeat नहीं करोगे, but choose your seniors wisely. Yeah. Okay, that helps you. So yeah, that's from my side, and enjoy your college life.
The next question to you, it's like kind of debate kind of question. Since you both were seasoned developers, so it's a straightforward question. Since AI is moving from last 1 and 2 years, you can say ChatGPT and so much is came in this period. So like with the advent of AI tool like Devin, which is a kind of autonomous software developer, is software developer skill is left as a career option, or kind of give a highlight on this? Okay.
Okay, like obviously this is a whole hype going on, like Devin can take over our jobs. This is definitely not happening now. This may happen in future, I'm not commenting on that,
So,
but
how
for now,
far it is?
quite far. At least that is not affecting our careers for sure. We'll be at a managerial position or somewhere over it, so yeah.
Okay.
But coming to thing, there are two things I'd like to add. First of all, see, human debugging, Devin can never have that. Understanding the error at a human level. See, whenever we see an error, we Google it, right? Stack Overflow का भी solution है, copy paste करने से नहीं चलता है भाई, उस पे head break करना है, उसे समझना है, और उसको जब तुम डालोगे तो उसमें फिर से एक error आएगी, तो तुम्हें खुद से debug करनी है, ठीक है? तो ऐसे तो नहीं है कि वो Devin बस solution करके कर लेगा. Obviously हाँ, कुछ चीजें जो हो सकती है, अब भाई CSS लिखना होगा, लिखवा लो ChatGPT से, हम भी लिखवा रहे हैं. तो हाँ, ये चीज है कि तुम्हारा काम आसान हो जाएगा, but you always need developers, ठीक है? Also there's one more thing कि तुम्हें एक चीज का कोड मिल जाएगा, fitting it in the existing structure वो हमेशा नहीं हो सकता easily. That takes time, that takes understanding of the current structure of the code. So it's not like a snippet of codes, obviously वो generate कर सकता है, adding it to current structure is one thing. ये चीज है कि जो लोगों के लिए डेवलपमेंट का एकदम आइडिया भी नहीं थी ना, वो अब बहुत आसानी से डेवलपमेंट कर सकते हैं. किसी को पाइथन की स्क्रिप्ट लिखने नहीं आती, पाइथन रन करने कुछ नहीं आता, वो ChatGPT को बोल दे कि जनरेट कर दे स्क्रिप्ट, तो ऐसा हो सकता है कि हाँ, बहुत लोग अभी वो जो असाइनमेंट्स होती हैं ये वो बहुत आसानी से हो जाएगी, ठीक है? इसके ऑब्वियसली प्रोज एंड कॉन्स हैं, बट अगेन आई डोंट थिंक इट्स टेकिंग आवर जॉब्स एनी टाइम सून. टाइम है हाँ, बट हाँ,
बच्चों के करियर को खतरा है, हमारे नहीं.
बच्चों का हाँ.
Like yeah, Gaurav mentioned that बच्चों को ज़्यादा दिक्कत है, like the not noobs, the freshers, the absolute freshers. अब तुम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हो कि यू आर डेवलपिंग एन HTML CSS जावास्क्रिप्ट से एक सिंपल वेब पेज बना दे रहे हो एंड उससे तुम्हारा करियर चलेगा, ना दैट थिंग इज नॉट पॉसिबल एनीमोर ऑफ कोर्स. हाँ, अब इनको यूज करके मेकिंग कॉम्प्लेक्स एप्लीकेशंस, दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल इन डेविन अगेन. अगर तुम्हें कुछ भी कॉम्प्लेक्स चीज़ें बनानी है, यू रिक्वायर पीपल, सिस्टम डिजाइन, हाई लेवल आर्किटेक्चर्स, दिस थिंग्स आर पॉसिबल ओनली थ्रू ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन. लाइक AI के लिए करना उतना पॉसिबल नहीं है.
Okay, but then sir, hiring at some stage definitely going to be affected, don't you?
It might be at a fresher stage, but look, it was supposed to happen anyway. Given the competition increasing, number of people entering into this field, number of resources becoming available each year. तुम अगर कभी आज से 10 साल पहले का देखो, people who used to have DSA hold, a good hold on DSA. But there used to be some people who had a great hold on DSA and they used to grab great jobs. 10 years down the line, the level of the questions have increased a lot. reason DSA resources have become so much common. Everyone is good at DSA now. इवन अगर मैं 2 साल पहले ही देखूं, द हायरिंग दैट यूज्ड टू हैपन इन द 21-22 टाइम, उस 2021-2022 उस ईयर में द डीएसए क्वेश्चंस दैट आई लुक्ड अप फॉर द कंपनीज, भाई ठीक है, बट इन आवर टाइम द लेवल, द बार ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस हैज रेज्ड अ लॉट. सो कंपनीज वैसे भी मतलब हायरिंग के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सपेक्ट कर रही हैं, बिकॉज ऑफकोर्स कंपटीशन इंक्रीज हो गया है, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ रिसोर्सेज टू रन, सो people are getting more competitive now. So that thing was about to happen anyways, whether AI आए नहीं है. हाँ, बट विद द एडवेंट ऑफ AI ये होगा कि फ्रेशर्स लोगों को थोड़ा ज़्यादा अपस्किल होकर मार्केट में एंटर करना पड़ेगा. यू कांट जस्ट लर्न अबाउट से रिएक्ट. अब रिएक्ट में मेरे को एक पेज बनाना आता है और मैंने एंटर कर दिया. तुम्हें रिएक्ट में एक पेज ऑप्टिमाइज्ड वे में बनाना आना चाहिए विद द मिनिमल लोडिंग टाइम, मिनिमम लेटेंसी. यू शुड हैव इट एज ऑप्टिमाइज्ड एज यू कैन, एज परफेक्ट एज यू कैन एज अ स्किल डेवलपर. सो वो सब चीज़ें तुम्हें आनी चाहिए. इफ़ यू कैन देन यू कैन आउट परफॉर्म डेविन. और जितना भी हो भाई, तुम एक रोबोट, तुम डेविन को तुम कोई फिग्मा दे रहे हो इन केस ऑफ अ फ्रंट एंड, या बैक एंड में तुम बोल दे रहे हो मुझे ये एक मेरा सिस्टम है, ये तुम डिज़ाइन करके दो, इट विल हैव इट्स ओन फ्लॉस. एंड इफ स्पेशली इन केस ऑफ द एरर एंड डिबगिंग पार्ट दैट गौरव मेंशन्ड, there are different specific ways or specific what should I say development patterns that run in different forms. आज स्विगी में इंटरनली एक डेवलपमेंट पैटर्न थोड़ा अलग फॉलो होता है मेरा. सिस्को में भी उनका एक डेवलपमेंट पैटर्न एक अलग फॉलो होता है. हर कंपनी का एक इंटरनल डेवलपमेंट पैटर्न होता है, दैट इज अकॉर्डिंग टू द वर्क कल्चर और समथिंग लाइक दैट. डेविन उस पर्टिकुलर पैटर्न के अकॉर्डिंग नहीं बना पाएगा. इट विल क्रिएट ऑलवेज इन अ जनरलाइज्ड वे. सो सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर्स को फिर उसको मे बी फर्दर मॉडिफाई करना पड़ेगा, इंटीग्रेटिंग. या सो दैट थिंग विल रिक्वायर अगेन सॉफ्टवेयर ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन, राइट. सो सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट में तुम कभी भी ह्यूमंस के बिना नहीं कर सकते. इट कांट बी प्योरली फॉर एआई, लाइक प्योरली एआई से वो करना कभी पॉसिबल नहीं है. हाँ, बट जो माइन्यूट टास्क हैं, छोटे टास्क हो गए, जैसे इवन चैट जीपीटी में मुझे कोई पाइथन स्क्रिप्ट लिखनी है, इवन पर्सनली आई यूज, अगर मुझे कोई जावास्क्रिप्ट ऑब्जेक्ट है मुझे जेसन में कन्वर्ट करना है, या मुझे कोई पर्टिकुलर एक मैंने स्कीमा दे रखा है उसके अकॉर्डिंग मुझे सैम्पल डेटा जनरेट करना है. अब भाई पहले मुझे वो मैनुअली करना पड़ता, अब मैं सीधा चैट जीपीटी को देके बोल दिया कि भाई ये मेरा स्कीमा है, इसके अकॉर्डिंग मुझे 10 इंस्टेंस जनरेट करके दे फॉर टेस्टिंग, वो चैट जीपीटी करके दे देता है इजीली. दिस काइंड ऑफ टास्क, या इट हैज बिकम इजियर विद चैट जीपीटी. अब जिनको ऐसी ज़रूरत पड़ती है इन टास्क की, स्पेशली कंटेंट राइटिंग में या ब्लॉगिंग वाले पार्ट्स में, फॉर देम या चैट जीपीटी माइट बी अ हिंड्रेंस, चैट जीपीटी और एआई बेस्ड इम्प्रूवमेंट. सो फॉर दैट people need to again upskill themselves. Upskill करोगे, stay up to date with the latest technologies, then yeah, of course you won't have any issues.
One thing I'll add, भाई अगर डेविन नौकरी ले रहा होता, हमारी पीटीपी भी भाई बना रहा था, हमारी इतनी मर नहीं रही होती. मतलब कुछ पार्ट है जो ऑब्वियसली डेवलपर्स का ही रहेगा, हमेशा डेवलपर्स को ही करना है. ऑब्वियसली जॉब सेक्शन में आएगा, मार्केट चेंज होगा, फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर चेंज होगा, बहुत सारी चीज़ें चेंज होंगी, बट उस even now we don't have access to Devin, right? There is a reason, like obviously we can't comment a lot, but again वो कुछ चीज़ें अभी भी classified ही चल रही है. Let's wait for the next few years. Let's see.
One more thing that I would like to add, एक important point जो मैं miss करना भूल गया, Devin uses existing technologies. हाँ. If you want to make technology from scratch, MongoDB जैसे databases या like कुछ specific requirements के according अगर मुझे कोई text tag या tool को ही modify करना रहा, तुम ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन के बिना वो कर ही नहीं पाओगे. डेविन कांट डू दैट. डेविन इट इज एबल टू ओनली इम्प्लीमेंट एग्जिस्टिंग स्टैक्स. अगर तुम्हें कोई स्टैक, कोई टूल स्क्रैच से बनाना है, एनी टेक्नोलॉजी यू वांट इट फ्रॉम एब्सोल्यूट स्क्रैच, डेविन वोंट बी एबल टू डू दैट फॉर श्योर. MongoDB आज एक डेटाबेस है, एवरीवन लाइक आई गेस द व्यूअर्स वुड हैव हर्ड एटलीस्ट समवेयर इफ नॉट यूज्ड इट. So this kind of tools or this kind of technologies, they have their own specific configuration कि MongoDB कुछ cases में useful है. अब ऐसे हर कंपनी का अपने यूज केस के अकॉर्डिंग इंटरनल इन हाउस वो लोग उन लोगों ने चीज़ें बना के रखी है. जैसे गूगल डेवलप्ड एंगुलर, फेसबुक डेवलप्ड रिएक्ट, ऊबर का अपना इंटरनली चीज़ें चल रही होती हैं. सो दिस काइंड ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजीज दैट वी यूज, वो कंपनीज में जो इंटरनली बना रहे हैं, डेविन वोंट बी एबल टू मेक दैट फ्रॉम स्क्रैच. वो ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन के बिना बनाना इम्पॉसिबल है, बिकॉज अंडरस्टैंडिंग हाउ टू बिल्ड दैट रिक्वायर्स अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंट स्टेप्स. कि तुम नॉट ओनली जस्ट मतलब एक कंसेप्ट को ले रहे हो, सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट या मतलब डेटाबेस मैनेजमेंट हो गया, नेटवर्किंग हो गया, तुम कंसेप्ट को ले रहे हो, कंसेप्ट को तुम किसी चीज़ के अकॉर्डिंग मॉडिफाई कर रहे हो, उसको फिर तुम इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हो, उसको ऐसा कर रहे हो कि उसके ऊपर और चीज़ें बना पाओ, उसको इतना फ्लेक्सिबल कर रहे हो. This kind of modifications, this kind of development features, they are not able to be done with the Devin. लाइक सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर्स को बनाने में भाई 4-5 साल लग जाते हैं. यू थिंक एंड मतलब एक एआई इतनी जल्दी कर पाएगा? दैट्स नॉट पॉसिबल. सो एटलीस्ट अब आई डोंट नो इन फ्यूचर अगर उसमें भी कुछ और फर्दर मॉडिफिकेशन आ जाए, कुछ और इम्प्रूवमेंट आ जाए, आई डोंट नो अबाउट दैट. बट एटलीस्ट आई थिंक अगर कोई फर्म ऐसे टेक स्टैक्स अपने स्क्रैच से बना रहा है, डेविन वोंट बी एबल टू कम्पीट विद दैट. दैट्स माय पॉइंट.
Okay, so it will be interesting to see the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, sir. So suppose if you get a chance to frame a student life of a triple ITM student, how would it be? So Kailash sir.
मत आओ इस कॉलेज में. आए हो तो ड्रॉप लेके दूसरे कॉलेज में चले जाओ. मत आओ.
अगर किसी ने वो किया
थर्ड फ्लोर से ड्रॉप ले लो, कूद जाओ. इस कॉलेज में मत आओ.
यार एवढा पूरा आ रहा है.
जोक्स अपार्ट, ठीक है, मेरे कॉलेज है, इश्यूज हैं. अब बोलूंगा तो विवाद हो जाएगा. तो इश्यूज हैं, बट ठीक है भाई. देखो, मेन डिपेंड करता है पीयर ग्रुप. पर्सनली मेरे केस में आई हैड दिस गाय आउट ऑफ कैमरा. तो अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल वर देयर. मेरे भाई लाइफ में जितने भी दोस्त आए हैं कॉलेज लाइफ वाले में, लाइक इट वाज अ कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट एक्सपीरियंस. बिकॉज भाई इट्स अपना कॉलेज रेजिडेंशियल है. उठना बैठना खाना पीना क्लासेस जाना हर चीज़ इनके साथ. सो लाइक अनंत, वेद, आशीष, गौरव, प्रतुल, श्रेय और भी हैं. इफ यू गाइज माइट हैव हर्ड अबाउट देम, उनके हाइप एपिसोड्स भी आए हैं. सो इन देयर केस, जब पीयर ग्रुप था मेरा, दैट वाज द मोस्ट अमेजिंग थिंग दैट आई हैड. सो लाइक फॉर द फ्रेशर्स एज वेल, आई वुड से भाई पीयर ग्रुप अच्छा था. इन देयर केस देखो, पीयर ग्रुप्स में क्या होता है, पीपल वुड बी एंजॉइंग, थोड़ा दारू सुट्टा सब चलता है. ओके, दैट थिंग हैपेंस. बट द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज भाई एक एम्बिशियस होना चाहिए. इन माई केस माई पीयर मेंबर्स वेर एम्बिशियस. ऐसा नहीं है कि भाई बस आज फूकना है भाई, फूकना है, कल क्या करोगे भाई, देख कल का कल देंगे, ऐसा नहीं. ठीक है भाई, आज फूकना है, फूक ले रहे हैं, कल कुछ थोड़ा इस पे काम कर लेंगे, कल इसको लेके पढ़ेंगे, कल भाई इसका असेसमेंट देते हैं, इस ये पोजीशन है, इसके लिए अप्लाई कर लेते हैं, थोड़ा ये सीख लेते हैं, अभी ये सीख रहा हूँ, तू भी सीख ले. एक हेल्दी डिस्कशन चलना चाहिए. ओके, बकचोदी है भाई, कॉलेज लाइफ है, बकचोदी करो, 4 साल मिले हैं, ऑफकोर्स भाई एंजॉय करो, बट अलॉन्ग विद दैट सीखो. सिंस फ्रॉम योर फर्स्ट ईयर ओनली हमेशा ट्राई करो कि ठीक है डेली थोड़ा थोड़ा सीखते रहो, एंजॉय भी करते रहो. ऐसा नहीं कि सिर्फ सीख रहे हो एंजॉय नहीं कर रहे हो, या सिर्फ एंजॉय कर रहे हो सीख नहीं रहे हो. दोनों को एक इक्वल बैलेंस बना के चलना इंपॉर्टेंट है. बंदी बनाओ, घुमाओ भाई, ठीक है 4 साल ही मिले हैं कॉलेज के, तो ठीक है, उसके बाद कुछ वही वापस कुछ बोलूँगा तो विवाद हो जाएगा.
इसमें तो पक्का होगा.
इसमें पक्का होगा. तो ठीक है, जब तक टाइम है कॉलेज में अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ एंजॉय करो, मेमोरीज बनाओ कॉलेज में. कॉलेज अपना कैंपस बहुत अच्छा है अगर देखा जाए तो. कैंपस लाइक इट इज़ वन ऑफ द मोस्ट ग्रीन कैंपस ऑफ द नेशन, जहाँ तक मुझे याद है. इट वॉज डिक्लेयर्ड समथिंग लाइक दैट. वॉज तो या हमारे कैंपस में अच्छी अच्छी जगह है, थोड़ा घूम लो, वॉक करने के लिए मस्त है. ग्वालियर शहर इटसेल्फ, आई वापस कुछ बोलूँगा तो विवाद होगा, ऊपर बड़ा विवाद होगा इस केस में. तो ठीक है, कॉलेज में ही रहो, बट मेक श्योर यू मेक मेमोरीज. फ्रेशर्स को इतना बोलूँगा, हमेशा पढ़ाई लेके मत घुसे रहो. हम आई रिग्रेट वन थिंग, हमारे 2 साल ऑनलाइन में निकला. आई रिग्रेट दैट वेरी मच. क्यों भाई, कोई भाई यार मुझे एक सेमेस्टर कैंपस में और रुकने को मिल जाए, एक सेमेस्टर और मिल जाए भाई, एक सेमेस्टर की वो क्लासेस वापस आ जाए. सुबह 9 बजे उठ के क्लासेस करने जा रहे हैं, प्रोफेसर क्या पढ़ा रहा है समझ नहीं आ रहा है, पीछे बैठ के सोए जा रहे हैं. 9 बजे की क्लास है, 9:50 में आ रहे हैं, अटेंडेंस लिए जा रहा है. ठीक है भाई, चलता है ये सब. बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट ये नहीं कि पूरा टाइम ऐसे ही करके निकाला. एग्जाम्स के वक्त पढ़ना इंपॉर्टेंट है, CG लाना ठीक है भाई, वो भी इंपॉर्टेंट है. ऐसा नहीं कि पूरी तरीके से इग्नोर किया. करियर को लाइक गिव योर फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी टू योर करियर, बट ऐसा नहीं है कि एन्जॉयमेंट को पूरा ही इग्नोर कर दिया. सो फर्स्ट ईयर इट्स डोंट जस्ट डाइव इनटू स्टडीज, एंजॉय करो यार. जब निकलोगे ना, यू योरसेल्फ विल रिग्रेट, यार उस दिन क्या पुराने क्वेश्चंस रिवाइज कर रहा था, पास्ट ईयर क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर रहा था, उससे बेटर था भाई दोस्तों के साथ बाहर दारू पी रहा होता. लाइक every such moment you will remember in college में. Try to make as much as you can while you are in college. एक बार corporate में गए, personally as I mentioned, जब when I went to an on-site internship, I missed my college days. भाई 2 महीने के लिए गया, उसमें मिस करता हूँ. My peers who have gone on an on-site internship, I am doing remote in Swiggy. My peers have gone for on-site internship in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Gurgaon. They miss the college experience. अभी रिसेंटली एवेल्युएशन के वक्त सब दोस्त वापस मिलते हैं भाई, बस बैठे बैठे बात कर रहे हैं, काम वाम भाई छोड़ भाई, हो गया।
कब मिलेंगे मतलब?
वही वापस फिर कब मिलेंगे, नहीं मिलेंगे, कुछ दिनों की बात है, आके मिले, बात कर रहे हैं। यू गाइज वुड मिस अ लॉट। तुम लोग लिटरली डिस्कस करोगे भाई, याद है उस टाइम हम लोग ऐसे किए थे, याद है हमें उस वक्त सीनियर्स ने ऐसे इंटरेक्शन दी थी, याद है फैकल्टी ने इसको पकड़ लिया था, याद है उसकी ऐसे इशू हुआ था। दिस थिंग्स यूल रिमेंबर एंड यूल लाफ योरसेल्फ। जितना हो सके भाई कॉलेज लाइफ में गलतियाँ करो, बकचोदी करो, एंजॉय करो मैन। जस्ट दिस आर द 4 गोल्डन ईयर्स ऑफ योर लाइफ। ऐश कर रहे हो भाई, इंजीनियरिंग इज ऐश लाइफ। पढ़ रहे हो ठीक है, पढ़ना इंपॉर्टेंट है, बट ऐश कर रहे हो भाई, एंजॉय।
कॉलेज लाइफ फर्स्ट ईयर तो यही कि यार कॉलेज में आओ, गांड दो, यही चलता है हमारे कॉलेज में। तो ठीक है, हम लोग का ये सब मिस हो गया, पूरा फर्स्ट ईयर नहीं रहे, सेकेंड ईयर नहीं रहे, तो पता नहीं कैसे होता। बट हाँ, वी हैड आवर फर्स्ट ईयर एंड सेकेंड ईयर कंबाइंड इन द लास्ट फ्यू मंथ्स ऑफ सेकेंड ईयर। ठीक है, हम आए, हम भिड़े, हमने बहुत एडवेंचर्स किए। ठीक है, बहुत अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस था। एंड हमारे साथ ना एक अच्छी चीज़ हो गई थी, हम लोग के ऑनलाइन में बातचीत शुरू हुई। हम लोग ऑनलाइन में, हमारा डिस्कॉर्ड का वो सर्वर अब भी एग्जिस्ट करता है। ठीक है, हम अब भी घर जाते तो हम अभी भी उस पर बैठते हैं। तो वो ऑनलाइन जो शुरू हुआ, जो ग्रुप बना, टचवुड कॉलेज का एंड तक वही है, और हम अभी भी मजे कर ही रहे हैं। ठीक है,
एक्सपीरियंस फ्रॉम बॉयकॉट वाला फेज टू यहाँ
कॉलेज में जूनियर्स बॉयकॉट होते हैं, हमने ऑपोजिट करा, वहां नहीं जाते, छोड़ो। तो जो भी है, तो हाँ, कॉलेज लाइफ एंजॉय करो, इवेंट्स एंजॉय करो, पढ़ो थोड़ा बहुत। ठीक है, जो इसने बोला था ना कि कॉलेज में पीयर ग्रुप होता है पढ़ने वाला, मोटिवेटिंग वाला, वो ये थे। हम मोटिवेट हो रहे थे, ठीक है, वो डिफरेंस था। तो हम मजे कर रहे थे, ये पढ़ रहे थे। इनको देख देख के मैं बता रहा हूँ, लिटरली ये वो बंदा था जिसने ग्रुप में ना पीयर प्रेशर शुरू किया था इंटर्नशिप करने का। ठीक है, ही वाज द फर्स्ट गाय जिसको इंटर्नशिप मिली थी हमारे इससे। तो हमारा था कि मैंने उसके बाद पढ़ना शुरू किया था, इतना मेरे को याद है। सेकेंड ईयर में इसको इंटर्न मिल रखी है, सेकेंड ईयर का भी स्टार्ट है, मिड था। ठीक है, वो इंटर्न मिल रखी है इसको, हम तब पढ़ना शुरू कर रहे हैं। भाई ठीक है, अब पढ़ना पड़ेगा। तो हाँ, हैविंग अ गुड पीयर ग्रुप, ऑब्वियसली इट्स अ गुड थिंग। हैविंग अ फ्रेंड्स टू हैव योर बैक इज अ गुड थिंग, डेफिनेटली। कमिंग टू लाइक अकाइड्स, एग्जाम के एक रात पहले मोर देन इनफ है। बाकी एंजॉय करो, बाहर जाओ, दारू पियो, मजे करो, बन्नी बटाओ, घुमाओ। अपना कॉलेज है, कॉलेज में ज्यादा कुछ घूमने को है नहीं, ग्वालियर में है नहीं, बाजू में जाओ, जयपुर है, आगरा है, घूमो, मजे करो, दैट्स ऑल।
एक्सपीरियंस्ड पीपल
और एक्सपीरियंसिंग। Okay, I think alright, that's it from my side. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us your valuable time from your busy schedules. Thank you, viewers, for having this. We will be back with another hype. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye bye.